It would appear the developers for Cyberpunk 2077 don't like corporate greed. Hello everyone, and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we are headed back to the world of Cyberpunk 2077. One of the developers on Reddit posted what is really happening behind the scenes and why the launch was such a disaster. Now I want to be clear as possible, this is an alleged developer for Cyberpunk 2077. The reason why that is because it was posted as anonymous, and half of the internet thinks it's real, the other half thinks it's fake. I am leaning towards the real side. Now, in previous videos I said I am staying out of Cyberpunk 2077. I'll talk about it in my weekly news roundups, but I really haven't given it a lot of time on my main channel. But this is different. I want to be here as a voice for the developers. I just really hope this is real information. As always, I will share my thoughts. Please feel free to share yours in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to support smaller channels. All right, let's jump right into this. Right now we are officially on Reddit. This is the actual post from the anonymous dev. Now I want to be as clear as possible. I don't know if this is real. I personally think that it's real, but it's impossible to source. So that is up for you to decide, and I'm going to read it as if it's real. Also, I apologize. I know I sound very nasally. I am fighting a cold right now. Okay, the long post, so let's start. This is still very hush-hush, but I'm fed up with this SHAT, so I'll disclose a few details. CDPR hurt themselves to keep investors safe and sound. Now devs are hearing plans of a No Man's Sky style comeback due in late June. The first two patches should come out mid-March despite what's being said by top execs. There will be a major departure from the studio in the next coming months. Dev morale is at an all-time low, and Sony is roasting our A's due to the gigantic volume of refund requests. That is true. There will be a meeting today with Sony execs to figure out a way to compensate players threatening with legal action. Sony Japan is especially furious. More to come in the next couple weeks. Feels terrible, man. Feel this person's pain. There's no finger pointing as of now. Word on memos comes from the top. The directors and senior devs are taking the flak for the team in what I'd call an honorable move. Just so you know, we still joke about a quest that got written more than a dozen times. Because a certain top dog wasn't feeling it, it ended up being cut from the final product and should come in a DLC later this year. You could feel the animosity. There's people that get hired for whatever reason and stay in the company due to being trusted by top dogs. A good chunk of the code is getting scrapped and rewritten from scratch. The intended game might be ready in June 2021. So this dev is saying that the game that they have been building for 7-8 years should drop June 2021. You're talking what, 6-7 months too early the game officially dropped. Listen to this part. If you want a refund, please ask for it. It positively impacts us as devs because we've warned the leads a million times about that kind of SHIT. Most cosmetic overhauls should be ready by the second big update, hopefully. This dev is saying they want you to return the game. It helps them. The update that is due June will sort out all the bugs. The code for the PS4 and Xbox One is getting scrapped and done separately. PS5's code is an improvement on PC. PS5 is an improvement on PC. You don't hear that very often. Due to the awesome dev kit Sony put together for this gen. You'd be amazed by how much is done already. That cut content so people can finish the main quest talk was bull SHIT. Most apartments with closed/locked indicators used to be lootable. We've scrapped 50,000 lines of dialogue, and I believe the June update will bring a whole lot of that cut content back into the game. So it's interesting. Did they cut the content so that they could drop it as a DLC later, or did they cut it and then because of all this backlash, they're deciding to put it back in the game because that's what the devs truly intended to be in it. Address the cut content as well. If they see that you guys are asking for this SHIT to be put back into the game, we might actually make the game we intended back in 2018. There used to be a huge underground part of the city that the public never got to see because it looked ugly to the execs. It was effing awesome. This part is really interesting. I mean, appreciate his honesty. I don't want to hate on Keanu, but effing hell, our original Johnny was way cooler and sounded like a maniac. Think Fultist on crack. I don't appreciate his acting either, but he's a very nice man. Walked up to us personally to greet us on the first day and took the time to personally thank us one by one when they wrapped up recording. Everybody says Keanu is like a super, super nice guy. The devs didn't want him. This next paragraph is really interesting. So what the dev is saying in this paragraph right here is that a lot of stuff was cut out of the game because of censorship. So the game originally had kids that were doing drugs, that got cut. There were priests in the game, that got cut. There was a side quest where an officer takes his own life. Then you go in and basically pretend to be the police officer to get into the headquarters of the police department. And then you could hack in and you could see kind of all those shenanigans that way. All that stuff was axed because of censorship. Now, this is the sentence, and I kind of alluded to it earlier, but that I could not believe. Might sound weird, but the disaster launch was actually something beneficial. That's why I put this in the thumbnail. From our perspective, a cold shower sets priorities straight, and so we're able to resume work on what was originally intended without having those effers breathing down our necks to publish. Corporate greed. You see, like, the developers been working on this for 8 years, pouring their hearts and souls into it. Then their stuff gets cut, it gets censored. The top dogs people come in and re-scrap their code. Then you have the execs and the investors pushing out a product that isn't finished. They're happy it was a disaster because it gives them back the power to make the game that they intended. This is the last thing I'm gonna read. Series X was a mere write-off of code and load orders. Next Gen's architecture is actually very good for ports. It's company policy to release a game when it runs without debug hitches, and the reason why it baffles me, and is the reason why I started this thread. It's a mix of hubris and deep incompetence from some of the big names around here. I'm going home for the holidays and really thinking about my friends who will be in the office for the next couple months redoing scrapped work without being able to say, I effing told you. This is your fault, boss. Next E3 will be bizarre for CDPR, I bet. Holy smokes. I will link this in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself. But obviously, again, there's no way of knowing if it's true, but if it is true, what a bombshell oast. I'm here for the developers, not the executives or the investors that don't actually care or probably don't even play the game. They just want to get paid. All right, everybody, that's the video. Short, but not very sweet. Now, there's a couple things I want to know. One, do you think it's real or do you think it's fake? Now, if you think it's real, if you have an opinion like mine, what do you think of the content? What do you think of what the developer said? I guess I should say I shouldn't be surprised, but when you take it to that level where the developers are happy when there's a disastrous launch of the game they've been working on for almost a decade, man, that really shows their level of frustration. So I want to know if you have the same feeling as me. If you have not joined the official Action RPG Discord, please do so. We're approaching 560 members, great conversations every day. The idea is to create a gaming community that could jump from game to game together so you never start the server alone. Link for that Discord is in the description. Thank you all for watching. Stay home, stay safe. Do not forget to join the official Action RPG Discord. Aaron out.